Remember when a glass of full-fat milk was just a glass of milk? It was a staple in every household, a symbol of wholesome nutrition, something our parents gave us to grow big and strong. It was the creamy base for our morning cereal, the secret to a rich hot chocolate, and the perfect partner for a stack of cookies. Nobody questioned it. It was just a natural, normal part of daily life. The sight of that red cap bottle in the fridge was as common as seeing bread in the bread box. Then, seemingly overnight, everything changed. The low-fat craze swept the nation, and suddenly, full-fat milk became public enemy number one. We were told the fat was bad for our hearts, that it would make us gain weight, and that we should switch to skim or low-fat versions immediately. The grocery store aisles transformed. Those familiar red caps were pushed aside, replaced by a sea of blue, green, and pink caps, all promising a healthier, leaner you. Full-fat milk was demonized, relegated to the back of the shelf, labeled as an indulgence, a dietary sin. Nutritionists, doctors, and health magazines all sang the same tune, cut the fat. And so we did. We dutifully switched to watery, less satisfying skim milk, believing we were making the best choice for our health. It felt like a betrayal of our childhood favorite, but we were told it was for our own good. But what if I told you the story doesn't end there? What if the villain we were all taught to fear was actually misunderstood? In recent years, a growing body of scientific research has started to challenge the low-fat doctrine, and the spotlight is turning back to good old-fashioned full-fat dairy. It's making a comeback, and the reasons are pretty compelling. It turns out that creamy goodness we were told to avoid might actually be beneficial for us in ways we never imagined. So let's pour ourselves a glass and dive into the surprising science behind why full-fat milk is reclaiming its rightful place at the table. One of the biggest arguments for full-fat milk is its incredible ability to keep you feeling full and satisfied. This is a concept known as satiety. The fat content in whole milk slows down digestion. When you drink a glass of whole milk, it stays in your stomach longer, sending signals to your brain that you're full. This means you're less likely to reach for a sugary snack an hour later. Think about it. A glass of skim milk is mostly water, protein, and sugar. It can pass through your system quite quickly, leaving you feeling hungry again soon after. In contrast, the satisfying richness of full-fat milk provides a more sustained energy release, helping to curb those mid-afternoon cravings and prevent overeating throughout the day. This simple switch could be a game changer for anyone struggling with constant snacking and managing their overall calorie intake. It's not about restriction, it's about choosing foods that work with your body's natural hunger cues. Now, let's talk about vitamins. You probably know that milk is a great source of essential nutrients, but did you know that how your body absorbs them is just as important? This is where fat plays a crucial role. Certain vitamins, specifically vitamins A, D, E, and K, are fat-soluble. This means they need fat to be properly absorbed and utilized by your body. When you drink skim milk, which has had most of its fat removed, your body struggles to absorb these vital nutrients effectively. So, even though skim milk is often fortified with vitamins A and D, you might not be getting the full benefit. Full-fat milk, on the other hand, comes with its own natural fat content, providing the perfect vehicle to transport these vitamins from your digestive system into your bloodstream, where they can get to work supporting everything from your immune system and bone health to your vision and skin. It's a beautiful example of how nature packages nutrients together for optimal synergy. Here comes the most surprising part, the one that directly contradicts everything we were told during the low-fat era. Several large-scale studies have suggested that people who consume full-fat dairy products may actually have a lower risk of obesity. I know, it sounds completely counterintuitive, right? We were taught that fat makes you fat. But the evidence is starting to point in a different direction. A major 2016 study published in the American Journal of Nutrition followed over 18,000 women for more than a decade and found that those with the highest intake of high-fat dairy were 8% less likely to be overweight or obese. How can this be? Researchers believe it's a combination of factors. As we discussed, the higher satiety from full-fat dairy leads to people eating less overall. Additionally, certain fatty acids found in milk fat, like conjugated linoleic acid or CLA, are being studied for their potential to influence metabolism and reduce body fat. The takeaway isn't that drinking gallons of milk will magically make you lose weight, but that incorporating full-fat dairy into a balanced diet might be more supportive of a healthy weight than the fat-free alternatives we've been pushed towards for so long. Let's also consider the bigger picture of what happens when fat is removed from a food. To make low-fat and fat-free products taste better, manufacturers often add sugar, artificial sweeteners, or other additives to compensate for the loss of flavor and texture that comes from removing the fat. So, while you might be cutting back on fat, you could be unknowingly increasing your intake of sugar, which we now know contributes to a whole host of health problems, including weight gain, insulin resistance, and inflammation. When you choose full-fat milk, you're getting a product that is closer to its natural state. It's a whole food, minimally processed, with a simple ingredient list: milk. There's a certain wisdom in choosing foods that are less tampered with. The natural combination of fat, protein, and carbohydrates in whole milk provides a balanced source of energy and flavor without the need for added sugars or chemicals. It's about getting back to basics and trusting that nature often gets it right. Of course, this isn't about declaring one type of milk good and another bad. Nutrition is personal, and what works for one person might not work for another. If you genuinely prefer the taste of skim milk or have specific medical reasons for avoiding fat, then that's the right choice for you. The goal here is to challenge outdated dietary dogma and empower you with the latest information. It's about releasing the fear and guilt that has been associated with dietary fat for decades. Fat is not the enemy. It's an essential macronutrient that plays a vital role in our health. The story of full-fat milk is a perfect example of how nutritional science is constantly evolving. What was once considered a dietary villain is now being reevaluated and appreciated for its unique benefits. So next time you're in the dairy aisle, maybe don't automatically reach for the skim. Consider giving that red-capped bottle another chance. You might be surprised by how satisfying and beneficial it can be. Thanks for watching, and if you found this information helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more myth-busting content. See you in the next video.